guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I see it me sleeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why nobody told you
everyone. My name is Faber. It's a lovely spring day, I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't know what's happening outside. But the sun is shining and I am Faber. This is the titanium quote. Thank you to Keith so much for gifting, for providing us the early access code for the demo. Sorry that I didn't use it until it was already available to everyone. This game seems to have something to do with fairies. And I don't really know anything else about it, so I'd like to. I love shapes. You gotta be kidding me. They had shapes. A man steps onto stage and taps a microphone. What's this though? This is nice. Okay. Good evening. Before we begin the game, there are a few announcements. First, due to unexpected circumstances, the part of the player will be performed by an understudy. A couple of audible groans and one muffled boo erupt from the audience. No, there's no need for that. This kid may not be a star yet, but I've seen her rehearse and I can guarantee that she'll impress you. She may not have had time to memorize any of her lines, but well, neither have any of you. Second, we'd like to warn you, this production features a significant amount of obscenity. But, before all the parents in the audience begin covering their children's ears, know this. The stage is enchanted, such that the obscenities can only be heard by those of sufficient emotional maturity to handle hearing. And finally, the writing room would like to issue an apology for failing to complete the script before this performance. We are working on it as I speak, so it is my pleasure to announce that tonight's performance is also a race. Who will win? The writers furiously working to finish the script, or the performers attempting to perform it? It's crazy. I can't answer that question, but I can announce that the race begins now. They're making this game while we play it, and they have to keep making it as we play. Which actually, I guess, yeah, that is a beautiful metaphor for the demo. We hope you enjoy the game. But where I should start? Should I start on one of those boats? You were walking through the woods. Walking through the woods. When the world around you shattered. This was both alarming and inconvenient. Isolated on a long stretch of ground, you were transfixed as the broken landscape began to rearrange itself. I see. Your eyes followed trees and hills, collapsing in lines of three, as if the forest you knew were alert, becoming carefully entangled. Endless, okay, now get me. You dared not move from your position, as the ground beneath your feet quivered in anticipation of shattering further. I'm just taking it all in. I guess the reverse. Nice. You passed the time this way for who knows how long. Until the court slid into view. At first you weren't sure you could trust your eyes, but there was a great shining structure among the rolling landscape, something stable and closed. Enclosed, a shelter. You kept your eyes on it, hoping it would draw close enough that you might peer inside its windows. Okay, I can't bring this. Well, interesting. Surprisingly, the current appeared able to move freely through the broken landscape, disregarding rounds of three as it approached our position. I can just slide it over. Okay. And, just as it came near, the shattered landscape lurched. Hello there, what is this game? I'm finding out. Apparently it's Bejeweled. I had no clue it was Bejeweled. This is the titanium crypt. With little warning, the forest snapped back together as if someone had pulled the knot of reality tight once again. Except by now it wasn't the forest you knew. It was hardly even a forest. You stood stretched and began the hike towards the crypt. Where the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the crypt. Hoping to avoid any attention, you sought out a more isolated part of the hall. An empty table near an exit where no one would pay you much mind. A sound plan, except... The hall was soon overflowing with people, and your table was no exception. The young man seated to your right began engaging you in idle conversation. You said it was an exception. The weather, how you found the meal, the role of the individual in a society, how you prefer to make your bed, those sorts of subjects. Eventually, he inquired about how you came to arrive at the crypt. Which answers my question quite thoroughly, raising many more, he says as you conclude your tale. But forgive me, you haven't actually finished your story, have you? You admit there's a bit more, though you've yet to make sense of it. The people within the court were earnest, but odd. After your arrival, you attempted to get some answers about your whereabouts and the strange circumstances outside, except... They spoke mostly in riddles and nonsense, didn't they? They did. Well, let's find out where you are. Monarch, offensive job, turn property damage into profit. Offensive job, I guess I'm a monarch. Here's the menu. My health, a vital resource, easily neglected. When depleted, you will lose the war, a roach. Very concise, yeah. Money, immortal magic, power sustained by collective hallucination. Food makes bodies tall and strong. I'm learning so much from this game. If you were born like 15 minutes ago, you'd be learning a lot right there. Water pulls minds and concepts through the veil. It does do that. World fashioned into a club with which you may speak softly. Stone absorbs impacts, losses, and eons. What an amazing thing for a stone to do. So I guess I'm looking right now. I can see the cobblestones. I can see nothing. Grass, a veritable feast, but not for you. Stars, a hybrid meal, allowing both ascent and descent. Some doors of distinguished rank. The next level wall separates the outdoors into two categories. There's a man resting in the shade of the wall. There's a woman in a helmet doing her taxes at a picnic table. I can see a pair in front of a blackboard discussing magic. Of course, I can see that now. And a small cat. I thought that was a little kitty cat bathing in the sun atop the walls. Oh, and I can talk to them. Oh, neat. So just all the interactables are down here. Okay, give me to the cat. And a small cat. Said a small cat. Meow. Your questions are numerous, but inconsequential, for they miss the current crisis. What crisis? We're the crisis wherein my dinner is late. Meow. It is so late, in fact, that I'm not certain the concept of dinner isn't something I invented in a fugue of hunger. All other societal issues are mere trivialities in comparison to my plate. Please, stranger, let you fill my bowl, thus ending this ravenous standard. A woman behind you laughed. Oh, don't listen to him. He's been fed twice today already. Next, you, hello. Are you seriously going to tell me? Hello, are you seriously going to tell me about every individual conversation you had in excruciating detail? Yeah. Yes, you are, because if you let you proceed uninterrupted, you'll learn that many of these people played a part in what happened next. Fine, fine. A memory. That's so nice, lets me know it's just a memory I could revisit. So nice, let's proceed. It's just a... This is taxes or magic? Standard. Tell me about the taxes. Said the woman. I would love to tell you where we are, friend, but I haven't even figured out where we are at. She gestured at a stack of maps on the table behind her. We're not in any of those places. Or at least we weren't. Who knows if that's true now that the tide has come in? You attempted another tactic, hoping to glean some information. Perhaps she could at least tell you the name of this place. Oh, we just call it the court. Its full name is the court of... I forget. Something like the court of aluminum? But it starts with a T. Court of tungsten? Perhaps? I don't know. Maybe I'm new here. Maybe. I'm new here. And I'm bad with names. At least I can give you mine. I'm Robin. She held out her hand, which you shook as you introduced yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should try to sort this out before the tide settles again. Interesting. Very busy. There appears to be a seminar of some sort taking place in the courtyard. A seminar on magic, if you understood the text on the blackboard correctly. So, okay, if you take a metaphor and then you stretch it really thin, right? Right. Like really thin. So thin you forget its original purpose. Then you inflate it. Right, just inflate the metaphor. I prefer to use my lungs for that. Then, as it's inflating, you twist it like so. You still follow? I think so. And, hello. Ta-da! There! It now resembles a dog. A delight for children and such. Oh, okay. So what happened to the metaphor? It's a lovely little balloon dog now. I see. They seemed a bit busy, so you left them to it. Said the man, well, pal, before you ask me any more questions, you gotta know my deal. My deal is that I can only answer questions you haven't asked. Oh, shit. I should have talked to this guy first. There, best. So as to where we are, no candy. Sorry, can't tell you. No candy. What are we doing? Oh, man. We're a court of fairies on a quest to find our missing queen. He looked to both sides, and then said, so let me know if you see her. Just don't ask me where she is. So hello. What did the outside of the curtain look like from atop the walls? Finding no immediate answers inside the curtain, you moved to the top of the walls and looked outward. Perhaps there was something you could see from this vantage that would shed more light on your situation. To the contrary, conditions outside the walls were even stranger than they were at the time of your arrival. The rest of the shattered landscape had now melted away. The court stood alone amid a world. But not for long. With a rush of water, new surroundings began to surround. Much of the new topography was familiar to you. You could identify fields, water, woods, and hills. But there was something else to see. A menacing group of other currents were also part of the landscape. You were not alone in noticing these. Someone shouted, "The word, the word! The word is here!" Someone else, "That can't be. Puck said no words until we find the queen." Then perhaps you should explain that to them. Surrounded by the enemy on all sides, and bereft of an obvious course of action, the people of the court began to pray. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. "I genuinely wish no harm upon our enemy. I merely pray they would fade into obscurity." Freaky deaky. Wow, I didn't expect that to work. But thanks. A woman named Robin offered the next prayer. My notes are quite clear on this. Prayer does not work. Our time is much better spent steering the court. Remember, their soldiers cannot cross water. We should try to take shelter behind a moat until the tide comes in. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we could get like a kind of here, I think, but we should try to follow the instructions. Now that river protects us from nearly half the field. Hills should also slow their advance. So for my next prayer... But the next prayer did not belong to Robin. The next prayer belonged to the cat. So long as we are making demands of God, then my wish as ever is to be fed. Psst, hey. You probably didn't notice, but something just happened over here. What happened is, by matching fields, the court has just acquired more food. Similarly, other parts of the battlefield can be matched to earn water, wood, or stone. None of those fairies in the court will tell you this. Their religion forbids them from acknowledging the existence of the user interface. But I am a secular tool. Secular tooltip. If you know God, I will do my best to provide you with this vital information. You're welcome. Yes, more of that, please. Robin then bemoaned the loss of the moat. And we face even more of the enemy than before. Why must I bother? The scholars at the Blackbird now chimed in. We've identified the most strategically sound location. This spot right here. If we just steer over there carefully, we should be fine. Sitting pretty. That's where I wanted to go earlier. But Robin interjected. Stop. Look at the clock. It's almost low tide. We have time left for only one more move. Hello again. So the clock and time left Robin alludes to is, in fact, this unassuming progress bar at the edge of your vision. Much like life, every move you make will deplete some of your remaining time. It is just like that. Hello, Pete. I made it. I made it. I crash landed on the shores of the titanium court. If we've only one prayer left, what do you suggest we ask for? Well, we might as well pray for a miracle. Well, that's a start. Apologies, but another explanation from me, your humble tooltip, is in order. The previous move chained multiple matches together. Because of this, you've earned some bonus time. For the pharaohs of the court, this might as well be a miracle. Previous move chain. Is there any chance we could do that again? Whatever that was. But there was no such chance. The next prayer would be the last one. Incidentally, the next prayer also belonged to you. Unsure of what any of this really meant, you imitated the people around you and made a pointless decision. I guess the tide is coming. Sounds like there's not really any room for combos. Maybe the war is gonna start. I just gotta find out. If there's one more thing I could do, it would be to get a little more food. The battlefield snapped together as the court snapped with attention. Faces everywhere. Windows were shattered, doors were slammed. Large swaths of people emerged from further inside and formed a line near the gates. A tap on your shoulder. One of the scholars. We could use some help in the dressing room, if you have a free hand. If I do. Along with the scholars, introduced to you as Herb and Skip. You sorted through a large pile of costumes, props, and weapons. Check the tag on that, will you? Make sure I put it together properly. A farmer, a working fairy, gathers food from fields. Put it together properly. You handed the bundle of farmer's apparel to the first person in line. Unperturbed by the idea of harvesting wheat in the middle of a battle, they whistled as they marched out the front gate. I'm just a working fairy, just an average working fairy. This one's a soldier, the offensive fairy. Attacks the enemy. This is just really good. We're getting all sorts of fairies. All sorts of fairies out of this game. Now see if this one fits anybody. Yeah, because we've got plenty of food, enough trees and rocks to get one fairy. You handed a bundle of armor and weapons to the next person in line. She tested the weight of a weapon in her hand. We haven't received any training, so I'm just planning to hit anything that doesn't belong to us. After this minimal preparation, the scholars considered their work finished. That puts our chances of survival somewhere near abysmal. I'm afraid this is the best we can do. A small mercy at least that the Queen isn't here to witness this. And so you waited with the others for the battle to commence. Hello, I must pester you one more time before I take my leave. Or miss your tooltip box. Observe, this is the undo button. Oh, that's very nice. The official editorial position of this tooltip is that you're liable to lose, no matter how many times you change your mind presently. When you're ready to lose, use the play button to proceed to the battle. Now, I will leave you in peace. Thank you. But should you ever desire the company of your loyal tooltip, all you need to do Please press and hold the right bumper over any button for a time, and I will do my best to explain it to you. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Look out! Ow! Shit. 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 Oh, yes. I love the impact things. Okay. And then, sometime later, as the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. The man to your right is beside himself with laughter. As the sun okay, so our court, cut off guard by a sudden word, was a feast stumbled behind enemy lines, made a token attempt at resistance, and was summarily toppled. Do I have that right? Yes, that does appear to be an accurate summary of the toppled. Well then, I'm certainly glad I slept through that. As you look at your surroundings, a switch flips in your mind. Your own story makes little sense now that you think on it. How did you... Your companion pats your arm. Don't worry about it. If our court couldn't withstand physical destruction, we wouldn't last 5 minutes within the pull of the tide. But enough of that. It's about time I made some introductions. As you've narrowly avoided learning, this place is called Titanium Court. Meanwhile, I have the honor of being the steward of the court. My name is Puck, although my lovers and enemies call me Goodfellow. I am chief advisor and friend eternal for a fair queen. As fancy as that sounds, in practice it means he's unemployed. One of the scholars, the man named Hap, has approached your table. He appears to have had a drink or two. He pulls up the seat between the two of you and assumes a jovial posture. Yes, the queen stood us up, good fellow. Lucky for her, I'd say. I'd skip town too if I knew what a sorry showing the court would make. They were sitting just positioned in the room at what looks like, where the queen would be seated. But, I make nothing of it. Did they just give their name to the fair? I think they are. I think these are our fairies. Each of these little guys. Like we're our fairies. So yes. They call each other something. But on the plus side, we can continue draining her wine cellar. Are you going to help me with that, good fellow? Or are you just going to stare at me? I don't mind either way. Puck, staring at the scholar, mouth agape, slowly inhales and pinches his nose. What fools these? How drunk are you, Hap? The queen is right here. I've been speaking to her for the entire feast. An excited hush falls over the entire hall. Hap blinks, looks at you, looks at Puck, turns bright red. Oh, I see it now. That calls for Her Majesty's finest vintage. I'll be right back. As Hap makes a quick exit, you look steadily at Puck and shake your head. There's no use denying it now, not after the tale you told me. If you like more proof, just take a look at where you're seated. You slowly take in your surroundings. Puck smiles. Now if I may conclude my introductions, let me introduce the court to your majesty and likewise. He stands up and addresses the entire hall as he says, Long absent, the Queen of Titanium Court, Always a stranger. Has arrived. Chairs erect and dessert is served. Holy shit. To your left, Herb returned with an armful of glasses and bottles. And about time, too. Good fellow. Did you tell her about the rural yet? To your left, bottles. A place beloved only of clowns and criminals. Beloved only of clowns and then, just a short while after the feast, the court returns to war. You're in charge of the war now, Your Majesty. You should be fine. Just remember everything we've told you about magical warfare. Blinking slowly, you remind them that, at this exact moment, they have told you roughly nothing about magical warfare. How good. She remembers quite clearly. How tired. Where the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. Interesting. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, how the field is broken. I read it. It has to be pairs of 3 to move things. But the court should move freely. Interesting. Okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, the moat over here is just begging to happen, but it's the best way to do it. Can I match things really like this? Let's see. So like that would do movement, that would eat a thing, but then would the rocks disappear? Yeah. Okay, neat. I'm happy to rest a minute finding that out. Let's see. So your message got held. It looks like it might be a bit spammy. If you're a real person, just try to resend, maybe without some of the extra bits. Let's see. Hey, this doesn't really help me that much. I can't undo, but that's okay. We're just getting a learner's permit and titanium cording. Oh, that's an obvious move to make. Yeah, just crush some of the opponent houses. Yeah, alright. I wished they would disappear. I made it happen. But that's okay. So what's happening? Consult the ever-changing map. You don't know what any of this means. Pumpkins and an abstract representation of a single battlefield. This must be railroad battery. Interesting. A seat announcing new beginnings. The suit work, so the natural world. Storage unit. A parabolic pumpkin. A plant possessing a friendly first face. Fountain, local non-profit focused on distributing wishes to the underserved. Nice. Birdcage, a well-defended fortress, creates a moat at the start of each battle. Signage, dripping with symbolism. Okay, so not matching anymore. Battery. I can make farmers and soldiers, right? And I've got what, like one guy waiting to get at the start of my next sent out, or... Sure. Okay, this would send one out there. How many? Okay, I guess I have as many as I have resources. So we'll just make one of each. So I guess we got like unlimited fairies, We just need to be able to equip them. Unlimited fairies. Click now. Nice. They took out that crappy tinfoil crap or whatever. Oh, Riff can't stand it. The big man wants some more. Well, having now achieved some kind of victory in the war, you wonder if someone in the court might help you return home. It would be our pleasure, if you can show us the way. Also, that was only one battle. There are many more to come if my notes are to be trusted. Okay, well, if you understand this map correctly, if it even is a map, there appears to be some sort of signage just ahead. Okay, well, perhaps if you can reach those signs, you'll learn more about where you actually are, along with how to get home. And to reach them, we need merely to be swept forward by the tide as we have been all along. Convenient. Arranged to my advantage. Rather, could get some thread, but I mean, what is it like that we win so easily? Do they only have like a couple of soldiers? Is there about two down there? And those are the only ones. These seem to be the only two courts that have a soldier. Okay, that's very easy to understand. So yeah, no, this is gonna be really easy. I do not need to be worrying so much about min-maxing things. I don't even know what the point of destroying an enemy fortress that's empty would be. I said that whole sentence backwards. What would even be the point of destroying an empty enemy fortress? Like, I'll destroy that one. Oh shit, I'm more down and they've got enemies in them. Oh no. Never thought praying would just work against me. What the hell? Right, so like, and you roll combos buys you more time. So you really do want to get good at the matching game. I really do want to get good at the matching game. That's pretty good news for me. If we're gonna win this war before it even starts. Pretty good news. Not this time, but we could maybe. Oh yeah, the storage unit. Is that right there? You're quite curious about what you might find inside the storage unit. But it's locked. Okay. Take a look inside. Alright, this early. Okay. Yeah, this all seems nice. We got our resources over here. Let's get, I don't know if saving resources between battles matters, so let's just obliterate, but we'll save some more leftovers. Yay! Right, there's just not, yeah, I mean, I like this, because it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of enemy fortresses, but like, we're dangerous there, they don't have any soldiers. Strange, God, the map is interesting. The pumpkin. There's a lot of enemy soldiers there. I'm glad we saved a little bit of resources. I know how to do combos sometimes, if I see them. Soldiers there. I'm trying to get rid of those. First of all, grab this. I mean, like, but as long as you don't even really have to look for combos, but just try to make sure you're playing towards, like, the bottom half of the screen, because then more things will fall. I mean, more things can happen. We could try to make some effort to be, surrounded by a moat when all is said and done. Oh, this feels so easy now. There were so many more enemies. There was like 9 enemy soldiers we had to take care of. Now there's so few. Our position seems pretty good. They'd have to go through like mountains in order to get to us. I guess we'll keep the farmers going, spend some water. Just having that many. Also, a part of the game where you just get to watch. This rules. This is so cute. And the music rules. It keeps just like crawling and creeping in subtly. A menacing bird cage suddenly appears in front of the court. Your Majesty, I have notes on this foe. Let me know if you'd like to see them. Robin has notes on how the bird cage behaves in battle. Wait, aren't some of those enemy courts empty? You've noticed a subtle difference between some of the enemy courts on the battlefield. Where many enemy courts have soldiers permanently stationed outside their gates, there are also plenty of them that appear to be completely empty. You think you can maybe assume that these empty will not attack the court during the coming battle? Yes, you can assume that. Additionally, you can see when enemy soldiers will attack the court over here in the timeline. Oh, it's beautiful. Even soldiers might be no threat if you can deal with their courts before they attack. Like, especially if they're like locked behind a moat or something. Or if our court is locked behind a moat, then we're super safe. I get that now, okay. Alright, here's what my notes say. First, at the start of low tide, the bird cage will flood its surrounding with water. Following that, the bird cage will attack the court with birds. Fighting it may prove tricky. Not the birds from the movie? If it's already surrounded by water, the court's soldiers will be unable to reach it. You're right. You wonder if there's another approach the court could take. Either way, you thank Robin for the information. I guess we'll just keep wondering. Wait, I'm excited to see this bird cage in action. Units, we would need to do some flipping. Some flipping out. some other way to attack it then. Oh, that's so much better. We just need some rocks. There's a chest resting on that patch of land, Your Majesty. We should be able to recover its contents as long as it remains in sight until low tide. Oh, so we just need to keep it on screen. Interesting. But we still desperately need more rocks, so, shit. I mean, I could flip these two, but I'd lose the chest rock. Lose the chest. How do we get it out of here? The birds. I don't really know what's in that chest. It just had to be a rock, though. Okay, there's a tree chest. You know what? Yeah, we're fine with that. We're at the rock, bro. We're just too desperate. I've got so much food. Anyways, don't worry. It's food. It's food. It's food. I'm quietly really trying to win this battle. The birdcage is leaking birds. Like, the one thing I was supposed to do. And I guess I could move the birdcage, but let's see. Or, like, maybe I should get closer to it, you know? I really was not taking advantage of being able to move our home base. Let's get to it. Leaking birds. I would love to gather a amount of treasures, trinkets, and toys. Selection of goods are good for the taking. Gunboat, offensive rock, attacks the enemy via water. They cursed. Too wood and too rock. We get birds. Crazy. Angler. Working fire using ancient magic transforms water into food. And we got money. I don't even know what the money is good for, so let's just get all these. Is this gonna... How do we get the gunboat to the water, though? Oh, it'll work, maybe. Obviously. Okay. We're gonna need some soldiers to protect us. And then we can, fire it. Does everybody need to eat? Do I spend food resources, like, every turn or something, or is it... I'm gonna assume no. I think it's just for soldier resources, so... But But still, the winner is not to get some food going. A lot of food going, actually. Okay, so we can't afford any more soldiers or gunboats. But yeah, no, keep us burning up. I think this is what's gonna win us the match, is our fleet of late game birds. Our fleet of 2 late game birds, let's go. Alright, gunboat, get out there. Oh god, there's so many fairies. Oh, I'm scared. There's so many bird fairies. Alright, slam dunk, yeah, come on guys. Everybody works together, everybody has a good time. Yay! I love the animation of the farmer guys picking the wheat. They're always going like, gaming guys, for real gaming. Having escaped the birdcage, the cart now arrives at its initial destination. Taking a spyglass to the top of the roofs, you see if the sign ahead can give you any clues or directions. Oh, I know this one. This is a memento mori. Rather popular among mortals. This one is quite simple, perhaps even unrefined. It says dead end, so any mortal who reads it can remember exactly what awaits them at the end. In case they forgot. Precisely. Okay, well, where you're from, the sign generally means that you cannot proceed any further. As you say this, a gasp. Her Majesty is right. The cart is not facing forward. We've been letting the tide carry us backwards ever since the feast. Okay. Well, in that case, how should you go about correcting that misalignment? The cat responds to this question by falling asleep on your lap. The beast is right. A good night's sleep should return the cart to its default state. And so the cart decides to retire early for the day. With time and repetition comes comfort. You feel your maximum level of comfort increase to 1. Okay. On the next morning you awake in a strange bed. The bed is strange, not just because it is not your usual bed, but because it is also not the bed you fell asleep in. Puck told you any room within the court might be the Queen's, so you parted with him at the first room you found that wasn't already occupied. A small chamber beneath a staircase, a twin-sized bed neighbored by a nightstand and a lamp. A small desk in the corner. No windows. Meanwhile, the bed you awake in is queen-sized and contained within a spacious chamber that opens onto a balcony. No windows. The balcony overlooks the courtyard of your new home. You appear to be roughly 5 stories above the ground. It's beautiful. We've got so much more to do and see. We first saved 9 seconds ago. I love to see it. I actually have to go. We only had time to stream for about an hour today. So anyway, cut over to the credits. But I could not have asked for a better 1 hour of gameplay from Titanium Court. Currently in demo, but I think there's more to explore, so we'll be coming back to it very soon. My name is Faber. I hope you have a great time. Remember to breathe with your mouth and chew with your teeth. I love you. Goodbye.
tell the story in a minute. We're killing, we get all affordable. Why cigarettes expensive? Fuck it, I said I'm not gonna go. I said fuck it, I'm not gonna go. My drink's too sweet, so I cut it with the gin. Crossfaded at the bus stop. Where's my fucking lighter? Whose party is this? Fuck it, I said I'm not gonna go. I said fuck it, I'm not gonna go. Fuck it.
Now then, a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. Once again, let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Watch the screen and we will try to count how many dots go by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10.